Idiots was a movie that released, I believe, Cannes? Sundance? One of those film festivals. I only heard about it when Discussing Film posted a review for it on Twitter, and I saw that it had Dave Franco, O'Shea Jackson Jr., and Mason Thames in it. And it's a road trip comedy. I was all in. But I saw it last night at a mystery screening, hoping that it was Idiots. It was Idiots. Here's my review. Before I dive in, if you would subscribe, hit the like button, hit the bell, comment down below. Use that comment section wisely. What is your opinions on Idiots? If you saw it early, if you didn't, are you excited for the film? And with that said, Idiots is fine. It's a fine buddy road trip movie that completely subverted all expectations I had, for better or for worse. Part of me wanted to watch a fun, lighthearted comedy starring these three getting into all this mayhem. I was not expecting where this movie goes, because it goes places. It turns into an action thriller, turns into a heist movie at times. I wouldn't say it fully takes on the horror genre, but there are some creepier sequences in the movie. And so, it's kind of another genre blender of a film. By far, the best part of Idiots is this cast. The reason I was excited to check this one out in the first place. You got O'Shea Jackson Jr., who has some really good scenes in the movie, performance-wise, not just comedy-wise, but performance-wise. And then when he needs the comedy, I think he has some great interactions with Dave Franco, who was the main reason I was excited for this movie. I like Dave Franco. I think he's a really good actor. And I think when he's doing stuff like this, then he's my favorite. Look at that one Seth Rogen Hollywood show, The Studio. Like, there's this scene that I see on Instagram all the time of Dave Franco freaking out when one of the cast members eats shrooms. Hilarious stuff. Just imagine that version of Dave Franco throughout this entire movie. It's loony, it's hilarious. His performance is a lot of fun. But Mason Thames, surprisingly, was the standout for me. I thought Mason Thames had a really good performance in here. It was so different from anything he's ever done, because he's not a likable character. He's not. If you've seen the trailers, you would know this kid's messed up. And I think Mason Thames plays him pretty well. This is the guy who played Hiccup from How to Train Your Dragon last year and was in a rom-com called, what was that one called? Anyone But... No, that's not the one. Some Colleen Hoover movie. Remember Me? Was it Remember Me? Regretting You. Regretting You. He was in Regretting You. And he was in The Black Phone. All of those performances are so much different than he is in this movie. And it is a lot of fun, his performance, and it's the standout. You also got people like Peter Dinklage sneaking his way into this film. It is a stacked cast. It's loaded from start to finish, performance-wise. The genre blending stuff is really interesting. Once we get that full chase sequence, you'll know what I'm talking about. Actually, there's a sequence before that it just starts to transition genres from just a road trip comedy to like full-on action chase movie stuff. And like, it's very fun, at least while you're watching the movie. And then like the next set piece was kind of thrilling, edge of your seat stuff. You didn't fully know what's going to happen. And the longer the movie goes on, it kind of transitions from this road trip comedy into a fight for survival. Do I think it fully like leans into all these themes properly? Somewhat, yeah. I wouldn't say it's the most perfect blend of genres, but I will say that I was entertained. I was surprised by the directions that this film goes, and that was something that surprised me about the movie, is that I did not expect this movie to do what it did. How's the comedy? I guess I could say the comedy's a little more mixed, in my opinion, and it truly, truly hurts me to say it. Because when you got the characters sitting in the car or doing their hijinks, it's pretty funny. Like, you got O'Shea Jackson Jr., one or two scenes in the movie where he's just going crazy. You got Mason Thames doing his really good creepy performance in this movie. You got Dave Franco doing the crazy Dave Franco thing that's so fun in every single one of his movies. But there's also some jokes that honestly were kind of too offensive. And I'm not someone to get offended by comedy. I'm not. Right? This one, I think, kind of attacks religion. And as a Christian, I didn't find that funny at all. There's a part where O'Shea Jackson Jr. is drugged. And while he's drugged, he walks around and has this emotional, funny scene where he's begging God to show him why he can't be good. Why he can't do the best he can. He's just sitting outside begging God for help. Laugh. This is a part where you're supposed to laugh. And like that is something as Christians that hits personally. Like every Christian has been at this spot. I guarantee it. Where you're just begging God for help. And this movie makes fun of it. Not funny. Literally like 3 minutes later, then we have a scene where Mason Thames keeps asking to touch a girl, and where she keeps saying no, and you're supposed to laugh. Like, the movie literally pauses to have moments for you to laugh. Funny, right? No, it's just uncomfortable. And there's those moments at the first half of this movie that when it is a buddy road trip comedy, the comedy doesn't fully work for me. I think the longer the movie goes on, when we blend the genres, that's where it gets interesting. That's where the comedy really comes full front and center. Because when it's just trying to make you laugh constantly, it doesn't work. But when you have like the serious plot, the conflict, that's when it works. Because you can have scenes in a car where you have our actors just having a blast. And that is when the comedy works in this movie. I know that I said earlier that the blend of genres is okay. And I feel like it's something that needs to sit with me a little bit more, because I was not expecting this movie to be full-on action, thrilling adventure in the final act of it. I was not expecting that at all. And that's what we got. But honestly, I like the nature of it. I like that this film takes risks. I like it. Not all of them fully worked for me, but I did think that worked much better on a comedy aspect when we're not doing the trying to be forcefully funny. The very first scene of this movie is a pastor being mad at a student pastor for taking students to go see an X-rated movie where you see dongs. Because that's a line that's spoken a lot in the movie. And you just, like, that's the very first scene. It sets the tone. It's not funny, because it's just very much generic. Oh, he took him to see a Christian movie, but it was X-rated. Oh, very basic. Then we are introduced to Dave Franco's character by him laughing and screaming at work with his boss staring right at him. Like, it's just typical trope stuff. That stuff doesn't work. It works when you get to the craziness, the scenario, and just our characters bouncing off each other. That's when the comedy works in this movie for me. I can also say the movie's an hour 40. There is some that can be taken out of the film. I will say it's a little long. Maybe it's the fact that I just got hungry by the time the movie ended. But there were moments at the end of the movie where I thought that we could scratch an entire scene out of the film. So, take that as you will. Another thing that I didn't realize while watching it, but after thinking about the movie, I did realize is that there's no character arcs in this movie. Our characters don't grow. By the end of the movie, Dave Franco's still a stoner. O'Shea Jackson Jr.'s character is still a screw-up. I mean, it does a little bit better by the end of the movie, but still. And you still don't like Mason Thames' character because he's just crazy. No character growth whatsoever. There's no arcs. There's no emotional sequences. There's another character in the film that I'm not going to name for spoiler reasons that was just introduced, had this arc, and doesn't really go anywhere, at least until the mid-credit scene. Yes, there is a mid-credit scene. It takes 3 minutes to get to from the credits. I would say stick around for it. But there's no character arcs. So there's nothing like character-wise. So there's nothing to really stick with you after you watch the movie. I left the theater like, oh yeah, that was good. That was good. Now, 24 hours, not even 24 hours later now that I'm filming this, I didn't love it. Like, I'm thinking, oh, it's fine. Yeah, there's moments that were really fun. But, I mean, it was fine. Not all the elements landed. And so, as somebody that was hoping this was a top 10, so funny road trip comedy, it was not what I was expecting, for better or for worse. A lot of the times, it's for worse. And so, I didn't fully love the movie. Thought it was good. Thought it was fine, mainly. It's going to get 3 stars for me. Before I give you my final score, however, if you would subscribe, hit the like button, hit the bell, use that comment section wisely. Tell me your opinions on Idiots if you saw it early, and if not, are you planning to see it in theaters this weekend? With that said, Idiots has some funny moments. I really like the cast. It subverted every expectation I have, but some of the humor just is too offensive, and we don't have any main character arcs to fully latch onto, and it's just fine. Like, a lot of the times it subverts expectations for the better, a lot of times it doesn't. With that said, I am going to give Idiots a B-, and this is one that if you are interested, I would say you can watch at home. Thank you guys for clicking on this review, and with that said, subscribe.